Sometimes when celebrities open their mouth, they say the most nonsense thing ever. Like that time when One Direction singer Harry Styles was asked a question, and this is what he had to say.
You know, my favorite thing about the movie is like it feels like a movie. It feels like a real, like, you know, go to the theater film movie that, you know, you kind of, the reason why you go to watch something on the big screen.
Meanwhile, Lady Gaga cosplayed as the FBI after the January 6th Capitol riots. She said, "To be there in person, I was afraid."
I'd like to see the Capitol. And then I walked through the Capitol like a detective. And I looked for evidence.
Also, history can also be tough. On the celebrity reality show Stars on Mars, Ariel Winter confused fellow contestant Lance Armstrong with the late astronaut Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon.
Lance Armstrong is a real frickin' astronaut. He is a real astronaut. He is Lance Armstrong. You need to Google him. You need to know everything about him because he is so cool.
The fact that we have an astronaut is so crazy.
Like,
said what?
Probably 20-year-olds out there that get me confused with Neil Armstrong. If I were Neil Armstrong, I'd be dead. I prefer to be Lance Armstrong at this point.
Here's another silly moment. Some stars really struggle with geography. For example, Addison Rae doesn't seem to know that Korea is in Asia. In this video with Bryce Hall, after Hall referred to a woman as Asian, Rae said, "You don't know that. She could be Korean."
Seems to be a little bit of the Asian. The same.
A little of Asian.
Well, no, Asians are hard to tell. She's either 13 or 35. There's really no in between.
Okay, and if she's not Asian, what are you guys gonna say?
She is Asian.
You don't know that. She could be Korean.
Am I assuming her ethnicity?
Yes, you actually are.
Did you hear what she just said?
She could be what?
She said she couldn't be Asian, she could be Korean.
To be honest, I don't know math.
Next, we have a silly tweet from Jaden Smith, even though he was young and still growing at that point. Check it out. He tweeted, "How can mirrors be real if our eyes aren't real?" Speaking of Jaden Smith, let's share one of Justin Bieber's moment. He once referred to the Sistine Chapel as the 16th Chapel while discussing his tattoos with David Letterman.
What? Here, explain this to me. Is that a new tattoo?
It might be.
No, it is. You don't, I mean, honestly. Get that off of there.
Hey, this is a brand new.
Because more and more you see like the mural and the Sistine Chapel on a, you know, it's too much.
I'm not going for the 16th chapel. Look.
If you're loving these wild stories, drop a like button and subscribe. In another vocabulary error, when Mike Tyson was asked about his future, he quipped that he was going to fade into Bolivian.
Where do you go from here, Mike?
I don't know, man. I might get fade into Bolivian, you know what I mean? I don't have nowhere to go and nothing to do, you know what I mean? I just go fly my pigeons on the roof in New York.
Demi Lovato has had several iconic interview responses, but one of my favorites is when she was asked about her favorite dish and replied,
"And your favorite dish?"
My favorite dish? I like mugs because they're very comfortable in your hand and they hold the hot things that you don't have to touch. So, you know, coffee or hot tea.
In a similar example, she thought students talking about inherited genes were talking about hand-me-down genes.
Guys.
Hey.
Hi. How are you? I'm driving you guys. So kids, what did we learn at school today?
In health and social care, we learned about inherited genes and stuff.
Okay, that's good. Like hand-me-down clothing?
No, it's like if your ear is attached to your face or
right,
if it like
right, because of your mom and dad.
Yeah.
Genetics. Okay, genes. Got it.
Snooki also has a ton of iconic quotes, but this one lives in my head rent-free.
That's why I don't eat freaking lobster or anything like that. Because they're alive when you kill it.
Noah Centineo's People's Choice Award speech also lives in my head rent-free because, like, what was he saying?
And before I go, I just want to say it matters not what you've done, but what you do with what you've done for others. Thank you.
These were some of the nonsensical quotes and moments from celebrities. Speaking of nonsensical things, Kodak Black did something wild that might get Kai Cenat in trouble. So click this video to see what happened with Kai Cenat when he invited Kodak Black on his stream.